Good morning. Today is Thursday. It is the 7th day of Elul. We are in the middle. We're going to read today the second half of chapter 11 in Igeret HaKodesh that we started yesterday. At the end of the class, we're going to do the shofar blowing once again. So stay tuned. And we spoke about yesterday about that this is a very fundamental chapter in the Tanya. The Rebbe talks about how we are supposed to deal with challenges in our lives, things that we need, and perhaps we don't have, human sufferings. And we're not talking about luxuries, we're talking about basics. And at the same time, Alter Rebbe explains how we are supposed to believe that everything is from Hashem. And therefore, since Hashem is everything, and every minute and every moment in our lives, and every single thing in the world is created by Hashem every single minute, that means Hashem gives us life every single minute. And being that from Hashem, the only good comes. Therefore, we must be happy that everything that comes from Hashem, we have to believe that this is good. Obviously, this is something that is easier said than done. But the very fact that we're learning about it and we think about this enables us to connect to this truth, because this is the truth. And this is something, as at least we know the truth and we study the truth, we can implement it in our lives step by step according to the levels. So we're going to continue this chapter as let's look inside the way the Alter Rebbe explains this. I'm going to share. Okay, there we are. So the Alter Rebbe continues, Ve'al kein reishis hakoil, sheyismach ha'odam ve'yogel b'chol eis v'shah. Therefore, first of all, man ought to be happy and joyous at every time and hour. It's interesting, the Alter Rebbe says here, b'chol eis v'shah, every time and hour. The Rebbe points out the word eis, time, shah is also time, seems redundant. So the Rebbe points out that the word eis refers to the time that it says, the verse in Mishlei, it says, Lakol Zeman, everything has its time. So it mentions over there 28 times different things, times for laughing, times for crying, and times for buildings, there's a time for planting, times for destroying, a time for everything. Everything has a time. So, and this verse mentions many things that has a time. Many of them are happy things. To build, to dance, to sing, it's beautiful. But some of those things are not so happy. Time for crying, time for destroying. They seem not to be so happy things. Here comes the Alter Rebbe and says, Sheyismach ha'adam ve'yogel, that a person should be happy and rejoice bechol eis, in all of those times. Even in those things that seem that they're not so happy things, says the Alter Rebbe, we need to train ourselves to dance, to be happy with them. And how is that done? Ve'yichye mamesh be'emunasei b'Hashem, and truly live by his faith in God, who animates him and acts kindly towards him at every moment. And Alter Rebbe goes to the extreme And he says, Umi shemisatzev umisoinim. But he who grieves and laments, he will complain, oy vey, it's bad, it's terrible. Mare be'atzmoi sheyesh lo me'at ra ve'yisurim. He demonstrates that he's undergoing some hardship and suffering, ve'chaser loy eiza teva, and he's lacking some goodness. Says the Alter Rebbe, v'arei ze kekoifer chas v'sholem, using very harsh words. It says he is, heaven forbid, like a heretic who denies God's presence, omnipresence. That if you believe that Hashem is everything, that every moment Hashem does things and everything is from Hashem and everything is good, then what are you complaining? Okay, and therefore says the Alter Rebbe, Irchiku midas ha'atzvus b'me'oid chachmei ha'emes. He says the sages of truth. This is, he refers to the Kabbalists, the sages of the Kabbalah. They strongly rejected the trait of sadness. Sadness is out the window. No sadness. Always be happy. Aval ha'ma'amin lo yachush mishum yisurim ma'olam. But the truly faithful, however, is not perturbed, is not affected by any suffering whatsoever. Ubechol inyanei ha'olam hein velav shovim etzle be'ashvar amitis. And with respect to all mundane matters, yes and no are all the same to him, in true equality. In other words, whatever comes from Hashem, is it this way, is it that way? If it's from Hashem, it's all good. But he to whom they are not the same, he demonstrates that he's one of Erev Rav who acts for themselves. What is Erev Rav? Erev Rav, we know the story when the Jewish people came out of Egypt. There was some Egyptians that decided to join the Jewish people. Now those Egyptians, why did they decide to join? Because they saw all the miracles that happens to the Jewish people. And they decided they also want to be part of it. They see the good is happening to the Jews. They want to be part of it. So what did they do? They joined out of their own selfish reasons. So by them, as soon as the test came, as they were tested, like by the golden calf, they were the first one to kick everything away and to go worship the golden calf. So that means, in a more subtle sense, it is also true to every individual. If you have a true belief, a strong belief in Hashem. And again, it's not easy. It's not easily done. It's easier said. They said there's a story of a big Rosh Yeshiva who was also a businessman. He was doing business, shipping woods or things over the sea. And one day, he invested a lot of money, everything what he had, in a big business deal, and the ship sunk, and he lost everything. And one of the students heard about it. They didn't know how are they going to break the news to their rabbi that he lost everything. And so they figured, they didn't know. Then one student says, I'm going to tell it to him. So he walked over to his Rosh Yeshiva and says, Rabbi, I want to study with you a piece of Gemara, a piece of Talmud. The Talmud says that a person has to say a blessing to thank Hashem for the bad things, just as he blesses for the good things. And the Talmud asks a question, what does it mean? It's not the same blessing? For good things, you say, Yatov v'ametiv, thank you for the good. For bad things, you say, Dayana emet, thank you for being the true judge. It's not the same blessing. So the Gemara says what that means is that you don't say the same blessing, but you say it with the same joy. Just like you're joyous when you say, Hashem, thank you for the good things that you did to me. Same thing, you have to be joyous and say to Hashem, Baruch atah Hashem, blessed are you Hashem, Dayan ha'emet, that you're the true judge. You're the true judge. So the student asked this rabbi, he says, I don't understand it. How can you be joyous at the same time? Like when you're happy when something good happens to you, you won the $1 million lottery, you'll be happy the same way when you lost everything what you have. How could you be happy? And the rabbi started to explain to him, yes, but if you truly believe in Hashem, if you truly believe that everything comes from Hashem and you believe that everything Hashem does is good, then you'll be happy with this also because Hashem is the true judge. And the student kept asking him, but Rabbi, but still it's not the same. You really, really, truly has to be happy. You have to go dance and this. He says, yes. The rabbi says, yes. You have to believe in Hashem. Everything is from Hashem. In that case, says the student to the rabbi, you can start dancing. Because you lost everything. All of a sudden, the rabbi turned colors. And he said, all of a sudden, I don't understand the Talmud anymore. He lost it. It is easier said than done. There's no question about it. But the truth is, when you believe in this, and at least when you know it, when you study it, and you think about it again and again and again, and you truly believe that this is whatever comes from Hashem is good, you bring it into your life and you connect to it. And this is what the Alter Rebbe says here. And let's continue. Says the Alter Rebbe. So if someone doesn't see it, it shows that he's from the Erev Rav. They do it only for themselves. As soon as they get tested, they lose everything. They lose it. The Oyev is Atzmoi. And he loves himself. He loves himself to the extent that he removes himself from under the hands of God and leaves the life of the Gentiles. Bishvil ahavas esatzmai. All because of his self-love. This is why he desires the life of the flesh and children as sustenance. Why do you want life? Why do you want health? Why do you want children? That all depends. If you want it because it's good for you, then it's wrong. But if you want it because you want to fulfill Hashem's mission in this world, that's a whole different story. But if a person does it because it's good for him, indeed, it would have been better for him had he not been created. Why? What's wrong with him being created? Says the Alter Rebbe, for the main purpose of man's creation in this world is to test him by these trials and physical tribulations. To ascertain what is in his heart. Whether his heart will turn towards other gods. What is the other gods referring to? Which is the passions of the body. Which evolve from the evil from the other side, the sitra achra, and desires these. Or this is the test. Where is your true desire? Is it in the material things? Or whether this desire and wish is to live a true life. What is true life? Which evolves from the living God. V'yamin shebe'emes uchai b'hem. One must believe that he truly lives it. V'kol tzrachav v'chol inyanov mishtalshelim be'emes, and all of his needs and all of his matters, they that are related to him, they truly evolve the protei pretiyoseyim, in all of the details, shaloi misitra acher, not from the sitra acher, not from the other side. Why? Kimi Hashem mitzad egeva karnanu. Because by God are these steps of the steps of man made firm. Hashem makes the step of man, every single step. Ve'ein mila v'goymer. And while there is yet no word on my tongue, you, God, know it all. Vein kain, and therefore, akol toiv betachlis. Therefore, accordingly, everything is absolutely good. Rak she'einoi musag, except that it is not apprehended as such by men. We don't appreciate, we cannot see the good. Now comes the Alter Rebbe and concludes a very powerful statement, and a statement that gives us a little more comfort that it's all of this effort ultimately is worth the effort. And it says like this: Ube'emuna zu be'emes, when one believes this truly, nase akoil toiv gam begalui. When you truly believe that this is real good, whatever happens, then the good comes out in a revealed level. You are able to bring out the goodness in a revealed way. Because with this emunah, with this faith that you believe, that the bad, which is the seemingly bad, that seems to be evil in the revealed way, kol chayusoi umitoiva elyon. In fact, even this, it all receives its entire vitality from toiva elyon, from the supreme good, shehi chachmasa yizbarach she'eina museges, which comes from chachma of Hashem, the wisdom of Hashem, which is not apprehensible. You cannot understand it. Shehi ha'eden shelemala me'olam haba, which is the Eden that transcends the world to come. As we said, the world to come is called the Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. But this is the source of Hashem, is the Chachma. The source of this world is the Chachma, which is the Eden, which is higher than the world to come. When you have this emunah, this faith, Nichlal umis'ale be'emes ora. So by this faith, the imagined evil is truly absorbed and sublimated in the concealed supreme good, so that the good becomes palpably revealed to the physical eye. This is the conclusion of this chapter. What a powerful chapter. Something that, again, is easier said than done, but the more we study it, this is a chapter that we need to have in front of our eyes, the Haskil Chabina, and by the more we connect to it, we'll be able to see the good, the revealed good that the Alter Rebbe is teaching us here. So now we're going to do the shofar blowing. should be a ksiva v'chasima taiva, a good, a gebunchte year for each and every one of us, and all Klal Israel. And tomorrow, first of all, tonight is going to be a very good shir in Anila Deidi V'Deidi Li, the powerful days of the month of Elul. In a sense, is also stronger. There's something in the month of Elul which is stronger than Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur itself. That's what we're going to discuss tonight at 9 o'clock. It's worth to join. Invite your friends. All the best.
Rabbi